Look, you want me to do
Raw Conversations. We are excited to be back, and we definitely have Dallas, Texas in the building. We definitely have Politikan in the building. We have Miss Lady Hollywood in the building, and basically, and the show brother as well. So we're collaborating and we're having a conversation about single parents, how it affects the youth, and also how it affects the adults. KJ, how did I do?
You did amazing. What do you mean? You did amazing. Hello, beautiful people. How are y'all? Katie,
Lady Hollywood.
Hey, I'm here. Hello.
Hey. Everybody feeling good?
Feeling
KT, are
great.
you a little nervous? I think KT a little nervous. Maybe not. Is KT a little nervous? Maybe. We'll see. We're going to check back. But we're going to go ahead and jump into the conversation. Miss Hollywood.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a mother?
Yes, I am a mother of three boys.
Of 3 boys. Oh, wow.
Yes.
I see in prayers. I see in prayers whether you have all boys or all girls. Period.
Exactly.
So in today's society, how is it raising? Now, let me ask: are you a single mother? Are you still with your children's father?
No, I am recently a single mother, a widow. Actually, my husband just passed a year ago.
Send my condolences.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let me ask you: with having to go into that type of transition, how has it been on you and your sons during this time?
I mean, it definitely comes as a shock when, you don't see it coming, because saying that to say, it wasn't sick or anything. So it's a transition to have actually for me having to fill the role on some of the things that he used to do. And as far as the boys, I think it's more of getting comfortable going to mom for the things I used to go to dad about. So it's different from each side from a mother standpoint, and then looking at my sons from what they're having to adjust to. But I mean, we're doing it because, I'm still sticking to the same process, that the same ways of raising our kids that me and my husband were doing. So, but definitely a big transition.
Yes, I can truly understand that. What is during this time where guys? Well, real quick, I'm sorry, Miss Hollywood. I didn't even introduce you to the rest of the gang that's over here. So you have myself, Kelly J. You have Boss Man Ben.
What's going on?
Then you have Big E the bodyguard.
Hey, what's that?
We are part of the Brother Show as well as Bad Decision Crew. So yeah, so guys, y'all wanna ask Miss Hollywood anything? She has 3 boys, so
I'm so sorry, you guys. My audio completely cut you guys out.
it's okay. We was rolling with it though.
Y'all, man, I was sitting up here having a whole conversation on IG Live, thinking y'all could hear me, and then y'all wasn't responding, and I was really confused. Like, y'all ain't got nothing to say.
Oh yeah, you were in your own world, honey.
Own world.
And in my own feelings on top of that. Okay, yeah. Continue. Sorry.
Okay, so Lady Hollywood, though that is a tough transition to go through, do you ever feel yourself at the point of going beyond bending and not and breaking?
Do I ever feel myself going beyond your what? I'm sorry.
Point of bending to where you're about to break?
I do, but I think I'm more so, okay, so I am in the field of psychology. I work in healthcare, and I have to self-diagnose, if that's the case, because a lot of people are so good at giving advice, but they're not good at taking it. But when it comes to things like that, yes, I do. I have to say, kind of put myself in the position of what would I tell my clients or my patients or whatever. So I get to that point, and when I do, I just, have different things I do to kind of woosah, so to speak, like work. I'm a workaholic. I mean, then I when I get to that point, it's either work or doing something with the boys. But I kind of keep myself busy. I know that's one of my grieving processes to help me like get over things, because it's more so I feel like I'm about to break when I'm sitting still, when I'm just nothing to do, you know? So, I mean, it's working for me now. Who's to say that it won't change? But right now I'm just kind of going with the flow.
I actually understand that more than you know.
Yeah. And I
And
have three.
I think that's a natural. That's almost like a natural thing
Yeah.
because Lady Hollywood, you're so used to grinding. You're
Right.
so my girl. Let me tell you guys, my girl is such a business savvy woman.
Thank you.
Like
Thank
when it
you.
comes to business, she is at the drop of a dime, at the drop of a hat. She is. We work together, so I know. I'm like, okay, take a breather, you know. But
She does tell me that, and I appreciate it. But we were doing it before. So, small little recap. My husband was in the music industry, so we were grinding before. That's how I got to meet Kamelah and politicking. So it just kind of went from, it kind of just went to times 10 now. Like I'm still grinding hard for a purpose as well, but also, you know, to get over some things.
But I have to stop real quick and tell you guys a funny story. So she's telling you guys how we met, right, KJ? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. Her husband being an amazing artist, just really great with music, really great with writing, just really great. He was always at the studio working with politicking. And so we were doing filming and videos and shows and all types of stuff. And my first time meeting her husband before I met her, he was performing at a show and I'm sitting backstage and I have my phone in my hand. He literally took my phone out of my hand. I had never met him. Took my phone out of my hand, went live on Instagram, and just started talking shit. And I was like, wait, who is this dude, first of all? And they're
Yes.
like, so that's how that was like the real introduction. And
Yeah, he
since
started
then,
promoting on your phone. Like, we here at the Stephen G concert, about to turn it up. Like, never
I
met
was
you.
like, wait a minute though, back it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's definitely known for working a lot, but we do have those conversations within our team because as much as you work and how hard you grind, being a parent, especially a single parent, and still trying to make things happen and build this empire is a lot. And you got to have folks that's like, take a breather, it'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah, and she definitely is that. I mean, like I said, I got my three boys. I work 40 hours plus a week with my normal job, and then I run my two business. So sometimes I do have to say, okay, maybe she's right. Let me just take a little break.
Yeah. So are your boys are they out of school, in school?
Well, they're in school. I have a 4-year-old. He's not yet in school. A 12-year-old. He actually just went back full time, and then my 16-year-old. But they're also now getting back into the industry because they do a lot of acting and stuff.
Okay.
So that is about to change a lot. So, like I said, if I'm not doing things for my business, I'm running them to auditions or I'm in the
Mhm.
studio working with music. So I'm all over the place, to be honest with you.
Okay. So this conversation came up on Brotha's Podcast because around the world you're oftentimes seeing a lot of the gun violence in schools, kids coming to the schools with guns. Here in Texas, there's a school called DeSoto. There was a fight that broke out um, where students were fighting consistently. It was just crazy. And so, brother and I, we were sitting on the phone and we were just kind of like, where the hell did we go wrong at as adults? You know, like whereas today's adults, and we've had a long conversation on this, and so we first talked on the adults and the kids and stuff, and so I told brother, I was like, we got to get a little bit deeper. I said because it starts at home. How home is ran, how home is done, ends up falling into more and more places. So a lot of
Right.
times, like with the school shoot, one of the school shootings, one of the mothers, the to the Hispanic Mexican, I don't want to say it wrong, in Alvarado, the mother, the father wasn't even in the picture. He wasn't in the picture. And the first thing he comes out and says is, I wish he just would have done it to me.
Right.
Wow.
You know, so it's like, here it is, a single mother raising her son.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you see on the news, she's sad. She can't even believe this. So
Right.
it's where at what point do we say it's not your fault as a parent? You've done all you can, because what I've grown up knowing is there is no instructions that come with raising kids.
None at all.
You're
I
right.
have no kids. Myself and Boss Man Ben have no kids. However, where we come from is I come from a single parent home. My parents are divorced. Boss Man Ben comes from a 2-parent home. So we speak on different levels when it comes to that.
Yeah.
But I've grown up knowing there's no instructions. So we can't fault the parent, but do we fault the child? Do we fault the child either? Where do we begin to say that's where the crack actually happened? And then how do we start to mend that crack from really cracking more to where now you got more and more kids going to school with guns?
So for me, I look at stories like that too. For me, it's just the way I raise my kids is I stay engaged. Okay. And then I see parents on the news when, excuse me, things happen like this. Oh, like I didn't see it, or I don't know why he did it or whatever. I pay attention to my kids. First of all, I keep God first. Let me just say that. My kids know, like, you keep God first. I raise them kind of like my mom raised me, but I also pay attention and I see if there is a slight difference in pattern, then I'm constantly talking to my kids. I keep it open that you can talk to me about anything. But I've seen parents say, I don't know where it happened, but I did notice a change in the way he behaved, or, the way he communicated with others or whatever. And I just thought, they just let it go. But with me, like when I see my kids, I know my 16-year-old, he's a gamer. He wants to stay, on the game all the time. He's always on the phone. My 12-year-old, he's into certain things. But let's keep it real. If I see my kid shut down his game or not be on social media, and then just different patterns start to change, that is a red flag, yellow flag, whatever you want to say it. Some things you just don't overlook.
Mm-hmm.
And I just said this to a friend of mine. Her daughter actually last year came in the house, fell asleep, and never woke up. 17 years old, just graduated from high school, from fentanyl. Okay. This girl was in cheerleading, everything, very social girl. And she's like, I didn't even recognize her. Like, how did this happen? But then I asked her, did you see any patterns change from what she was till up until her death? And she said, well, yeah, she was normally always on TikTok, on social media. Then I noticed she started fighting with her sisters. She wasn't posting on Instagram. It wasn't, she didn't want to do any more sports. Red flag. So at that point in time, you start talking to your kids, get them help. Because as Black people, we think like a lot of them, I'm not going to say all, but a lot growing up, oh, we don't see psychologists because we're not crazy. That's the stereotype of a lot of Black people because of the way that we were raised. But it's nothing wrong, because people don't realize when the kids are talking to other people, sometimes it's easier for them to express themselves than what they would tell anybody that they know. And I see it all the time being in my field. Kids tell me so many things. Parents look at me when I can't tell them what we've talked about, but the gist of, hey, what we talked about, they look at me like I'm crazy. So you got to pay attention to the red flags.
And also understand that when it comes to your mental health, anything that you feel like is affecting you to that manner, rather it be what you're going through now or what you went through growing up that is unresolved, you got to have some type of motivation to get that resolved. Forget what everybody else is calling it, because who's dealing with it internally?
You are definitely right. Now,
That don't
I'm in
even
that
make no
field.
sense.
I'm in
Now,
that field.
when you say resolve, so once again, I told you guys I'll be very raw during this whole episode. So when you talk about resolving, give me some things that you would say are resolving tips. So for instance, I know for myself, I have dealt with a lot from childhood up until now. I lost my best friend at 5 years old. She was murdered. Her and her family were murdered, pretty much.
Wow.
Her sister, her, and her mother were shot. Then after that, my parents got a divorce. So for me, what I've learned through going to therapy, I don't go anymore, but I would tell people, if you can find a good therapist, find it, and stick with them if they're willing to stick with you. Um, but what I would say is, when it came to me going through therapy, what I did learn was I didn't get help from the first thing that caused trauma in my life. Losing my best friend and having to fully understand that, seeing two kids that look like me in a casket, I still see that image in my head to this day. That image has never left my head. Her and her sister laying in that casket, and her mama right there. That has never left my head. And then my parents getting a divorce, I didn't get help with that either. So
Right.
from there, I was rebellious as hell. And
Yeah.
I was rebellious, and I acted out a lot. And now where I'm at is, I am diagnosed fully with mental health conditions. Um, and honestly, they've really made me, the diagnosis don't control me. I don't let them control me.
Right.
I control them. I let them know what we gonna do and what we not gonna do.
No,
However,
she really does in real life. Like
No,
she,
it's,
like no, like that's not an analogy, folks. In
it's
real
not
life, she does.
but that's the best way, though. That is
exactly,
the best.
and it has really helped me. But even then, what I've learned as I've gotten older, so I'm 33 now, just celebrated my birthday in August, and what I have learned at 33 years old is that I can't make someone who I want in my life to be in my life.
Right.
So, family wise, I would love a close relationship with my parents' oldest child.
Hmm.
However, that won't ever take place. And I have gotten to the point where I'm okay with it.
Right.
I have gotten okay with people who I've called my friends leave my life. And it's hurt because I want them around, because I've never really had anyone to stick around and be around genuinely. However, when I look at those friends and I look at the life I had, not a lot of people in my life was very genuine,
Hmm.
and not
Right.
as genuine as I bring it. And that was the thing. I want people that's genuine as me. And in
Right.
Right.
learning that, and since I've learned that, is brought up like a lot of history of how I grew up. My mom not being in my life in a young age. When I moved with my dad, I moved with my dad.
Right.
So I grew up with my daddy. I didn't grow up with my mom. So when I did move back with my mom, we struggled badly. I'm talking fights almost every day. It wasn't easy, and it wasn't until I was in my 20s, and someone told us, if you want to make it right, you got the opportunity. It's never too late. And from that point, I knew I wanted a mother-daughter relationship. My mom also knew she had a daughter.
Right.
But she
Right.
also knew I wanted it, and she wanted it as well. And so because of that, we have worked tremendously hard at making it work. And we do it very well. Not every day is Peachy King. I have my moments, but she has hers too. And we've come to an agreement on, when we have those moments, either we're going to have a listening moment or we're going to walk away. And we make that choice.
But
But,
KJ, look what you've done and everything that you've said up until now.
right.
And can you hear the progress in what, because you could have said and could have been bitter with the fact that you had a closer relationship with your father and not your mother. You actually made that effort, but not only did you make that effort, just in hearing what you're saying, you also created boundaries.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she said something um, that stuck out. So when I went into the field of psychology, people would ask me, okay, what do you want to do in this field? And I always said, I want to work with children first. And they said, why? I said, okay, so you see these people out here, they're angry, they're mean, or these people in jail, they've done certain things. Like, I want to work with children because a lot of the root of the problem starts in their childhood.
Yep.
There's a lot of things that has happened, and people think as adults, oh, okay, it didn't affect them that much, and even the child may not have thought it affected them that much, but growing up you start to see different patterns. Like you said, you're angry, you're rebellious, And the same thing for me. Like, I'm in this field, but I've been to, a psychologist, an amazing one who is now a mentor to me, why I completed my bachelor's, my master's, my whole education. So there was a lot of things of why I had certain behaviors or characteristics as an adult that going into therapy, I started bringing out, it came from childhood. You know what I mean? And like, people look at me now and say, oh, well, you're good. You got your degrees, your business. Like, oh, you must grew up in a good home. No, I didn't. I grew up in a single parent home because my dad chose drugs over his family, but I had a strong mother. You know what I mean? But at the same time, that's why I look at my kids and I try to do certain things because, okay, I had a mom who was there all the time, but it still wasn't having the father. And he had a choice. My husband didn't. So I tried to kind of fill the voids to where I feel like I missed out of not having the dad. But like I said, certain circumstances are totally different, but I don't want them to look back and say, well, in my childhood, this happened, which affected me as an adult. So
yeah, guys.
And you know what? I wanted to add to that, KJ. Anything that is unresolved will always come back up. Let me say that again.
Why are we trying to resolve shit?
Anything that is unresolved will always come back up. I'm talking about from your relationships to your marriages, to your parenthood, to your career, to whatever it is. Anything that's unresolved is it's gonna find its way to come back up.
Yeah, whether negative or positive.
Right. You want to know what I call that?
What?
I have a song. Never mind.
You want to know what I call that? What you call it?
It's called The Circle of Your Life.
The Circle of Your Life. You gonna get a little mini concert?
No, that was it. That's all I had. That's it. I promise. That was it. I haven't sung all day today. So
she's right. It's gonna come back up. It's either gonna be a negative result or a positive. It's really what you make it. That's why when she said she controls her diagnosis and doesn't let it control her, that's why I said good, because a lot of people I see in my field don't. So like me, I could have said, oh, I got a dad who went to drugs. My mom worked hard, but my mom didn't go to college or all that. And I could have took it like, well, after high school, I'm done. I could just do, what my parents did. No, but I still had that mom to say, no, you're going to go through college. You're going to do this, going to do that. So now I feel sorry for my boys, because as parents, we want your kids to do better. And the way I work and how I'm like pushing and building things, I told my kids, you guys got some big shoes to fill.
Hey, and I'm sure they're going to feel it and feel it well. I'm about 100% sure of that.
For me, it's like you ain't got no choice. If God bless you with your health and knowledge, you ain't got no excuse.
Right. No, I completely agree. And I'll say, even for myself, I got to where I'm at, where I don't allow it to control me, because when I was first diagnosed, like you said, in the African American community, we don't talk enough on mental health. Right. And so when I was first diagnosed, the first thing that got said to me was, go pray about it, God. Go pray about it.
Yes.
And that, they didn't have that type of stuff during their time. And, it wasn't until cops was coming to the door because I was trying to commit suicide that my family actually started taking it seriously and understood, okay, maybe this is something that's really real. How can we really help? But even then, my friends were not understanding at all. I went from being your party girl to wanting to, I was the it girl, the lit girl. So I went from that to, I just want to be at home. I don't want to go nowhere today. If we were all hanging out, I'm in a corner by myself. So instead of my friends saying, hey, Jay, what's wrong? You good? Let's talk. No, it was, you're a Debbie Downer now. We don't want to hang around you. So for a while, it did control me. It consumed me a lot. And it was trying to battle through that really helped me. And it was a friend of mine who was just like, I like what you're doing. You're letting people really see how this can take over you. She was like, but also show them the good. She was like,
Right.
you have your good days. She was like, just start turning your bad days into more of your good days. And I don't know what it was about that little statement, but I started, like, even when I would go into my little dark days, I would still joke around. People probably wouldn't even know I was down. But deep down, I was down, sad. But in front of people, I was laughing and joking. And eventually, that whole fake it till you make it became my reality. So I
Right.
faked it for a little bit. And then eventually, faking it became real. And real became every day. And every day became, you know something? This not about to have me. I'm fixing to control it. You gonna sit your ass right here. You gonna do this. You gonna
Yeah.
come present. And that's how it became.
And that's
So,
how it is. I'm sorry. That's how it
no,
is for
go
me.
ahead.
You guys, and I look at this one TikTok like that they have out, and it's like, show us one day where you were at your lowest point, and people are
Mhm.
posting pictures. There are parties. They're this. They're that. Like, and I had to think like that is everybody, because there's been some days I may have been working, I may have been at dinner, whatever, and people
Mhm.
just didn't know that it was
Mhm.
the one of the lowest days of my life. So when I see that TikTok come across and I see what the people post, they're not posting nothing laid up in a dark room, nothing.
At
One
all. They
lady,
all
one lady posted she was delivering her baby, but
live.
yet instead she was very depressed and at the lowest point in her life. So that's why I tell people mental illness, depression, or whatever is not a color you see that people wear. So you have to like look at people's actions and, talk to your people, ask them
Mhm.
if they're okay. How's your day? Like, and so
Yeah.
that's what I just try to do because I've been there.
Yeah. No, that's super important. Super important.
That it is.
And
But
also, I mean, it's life. We
mhm.
all go through something that we can call trauma, something that we can say, oh, I've been through that. I went through that years ago, but I'm still feeling it now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's life,
So
but having a support system or just somebody to understand could
Ooh.
either make you or break you. Like Kelly was saying, she could have been at her lowest point, and just because she had a friend that instead of seeing her not wanting to party, say, "Hey, are you okay? Let's just go have lunch and talk,"
right.
instead of saying, "Oh, you're a Debbie Downer," that could have been the last comment that sent her over the edge to
Mhm.
say, "I don't want to be here no more."
Mhm.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
So it's making that decision. It's making
yeah.
that
Yep.
decision.
And trust me, I did one of those TikToks where it said, I think it was like during Suicide Awareness Week or something, and it was saying like, show us if what when we would have lost you.
Oh,
And
yeah, I
so
remember that.
I sat back and I thought about every time I've tried to end my life.
Right.
And it started 19 years ago. From
Uh-huh.
19
Wow.
years ago to 15 years ago. And then from 50, and like the number kept going up till it was 3 years ago. Well, no, till it was like 5 years ago or something like that. And I'm thankful to be able to say I'm still here. I'm
Yeah.
thankful to be able to say, my attempts didn't work no matter how hard I tried. And a lot of
Wasn't
my
your time.
right, it wasn't my time. And I even had to realize through talking to someone else when I was having one of those, suicidal thoughts. I like to, if I can prevent myself, I will call people just to
Mm-hmm.
try to get my mind out of it for that moment. And so I happened to be on the phone with a friend, and she was like, "You don't really want to die, do you?" And it was just like that. She was like, "You don't really want to die, do you?" She was like, "Cause I'm listening to you talking. It just sounds like you in a lot of pain. You don't really want to die, do you?"
You
And I
just
just
going through some
started
stuff. That's it.
bawling. Yeah, I just started bawling, and I was like, "No, I don't want to die. I just want this pain to stop." And that's really what it was.
Yeah,
I wanted
you
the
know.
pain to end, whether it was internal, I could feel it
Yeah, you wanted
mentally,
that
but
feeling
I just
gone.
wanted it gone.
And you
And
know what I
it's,
hate?
mhm.
I'm sorry. I hate when people say, "Oh, you know what? God wouldn't put as much on you if you couldn't handle it,"
Oh, girl,
or
that's the
"Time
worst
heals."
thing
Yeah,
anybody
time
can
heals
ever say.
pain. Time heals pain.
Wait,
And
Oh,
I
wait.
tell
Why y'all?
people,
Wait, I'm laughing. Why y'all don't like that?
let me tell you why, and I'm gonna
oh,
tell you
And
why.
you're talking about God doesn't put more on you
Yes.
than you can bear.
Yeah, let me tell you why.
Okay.
And you know this, Kamelah, but
Yes.
Kelly, They don't know this. So
That's
people
it.
don't know, okay, even when my husband passed, so like, you're strong, this and that, but people don't know. Before I got with my husband, I had a 6-year gap of just saying, I need to do me. Okay. My son's father passed also from a grand mal seizure in his sleep. So I took that 5-6 year break thinking I was going to go fucking crazy, saying, okay, I'm a single mother twice from this. You know what I mean? So then after 5-6 years of saying,
Twice out
okay,
of your
this is me.
control.
Yeah, this is me. Okay, I'm going to finally open up again. Then my husband passes. And then people come to me with that. And I'm like, well, if that's the case, then God must think I'm superwoman, because no, this could not happen. Like, and I'm only strong because I don't listen to these damn cliches. Like, get the fuck away from me with these damn cliches. That's
like
not
the
it.
worst. That's
Yeah,
I'm
so
like, it's something about that saying. The moment I hear it, I just want to like
cringe.
slap that person.
You know what I
cringe.
think though? I don't think it is somebody saying it. If you really think about it, it's the moment when they say it.
That too,
Sometimes
Kamelah,
people
but
don't know. They don't know when to say certain things. Sometimes it becomes a little awkward if they haven't gone through what you've gone through. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if I have just gone through the death of this person, that was very whomever that person was, there are certain things that you just don't come to my face and say.
But it's
like,
that too. It's the timing, but it's also just that, like, when somebody else is
like,
passed,
write
or
it down.
if somebody else is going through things, you know what I tell them? I never say that. Like, my friend came to me with her daughter's death, and I said, look, this grief is a fucking roller coaster. You're gonna have your ups, you're gonna have your downs. I said, so guess what? You can call me when you up, you can call me when you down. I'm not gonna tell you time's gonna heal pain, because guess what? That pain 10 years from now could be the same, but I am going to tell you, I'm just going to be here for you.
Right.
I hate that shit. Like, that irritates me.
And when people talk to me, what I tell them is, I say, in life, you're dealt a certain amount of cards. You always hear about the cards of life. I say, so in life, you're dealt a certain amount of cards. In that cards, if you don't like what you have, put them back in the deck, reshuffle them. Pull out
That's
some
good.
new.
That is good. And that describes my life
That's
right now.
That's a really
good
analogy.
That describes my life right now. I fucking hate the cards I was dealt. So guess what? I'm about to reshuffle this, bitches, and then guess what? And I'm going to keep reshuffling.
The card,
if not, I'm going to throw the whole deck at you. Shit.
Oh, not the whole deck.
Yeah, like,
not the whole deck. Not the whole deck.
I mean, sometimes you do. Sometimes the deck you were given is just not shuffled properly, and it's not shuffled in the way that you need it to be flowing. So because of that, what you got to do, you got to put them all back in, shuffle them. If they all flop up from shuffling them, that's good. Go ahead, pull them back all together again, and then start dealing them again. Find what cards you like, what cards you don't like, what all cards you don't like, put them back in the deck.
Okay, we got a big question. Okay, we got a major question. This is Datboy Kalifa. Some people can't reshuffle though. What do you guys have to say to that? He's saying some people can't reshuffle though.
Find another game you like to play. It ain't.
And I want to hear from Ben too.
Got to get some damn dominoes then. How about that?
Right.
Well, sometimes people run out of cards to deal. Wait, hold on. Sometimes people run out of cards to deal.
Change the game.
Yeah, but then you get, like I said, if the cards ain't working for you.
The game you play.
Hold on, wait, we got a man's view. You say women can change the game.
Y'all can change the game.
So why can't y'all?
Because we have to play the cards.
Why?
Wait. Okay, wait.
Wow.
Okay, Ben.
The cards in our hand.
Now that's E.
The cards in our hand are dealt in a certain manner anyway.
Okay.
Trial, triumph, glory, failure, default.
Okay.
I get it.
Those cards, when we play them, they pass turns. We don't play ours consistently.
Okay.
We got to play all 5 of the cards in our hand to get another set.
Well, how about you change the people you're playing with?
Man, you have to play the cards.
Like you just said, y'all can put the cards back in the deck, right?
Yeah.
The equivalent to folding.
Yeah.
We can't fold. So
Men can't fold them.
Men can't fold.
We can't fold.
Men can't fold them.
So
because of the responsibility that's placed on you guys' head.
Right. That's why the responsibility.
When you take an L, you have to take that L.
You said Kamelah, because what, Kamelah?
No.
Play offensive defense. Sometimes the cards in your hands are pure defense, but you got to know what you're defending in order to get offense back. But you can't fold though. We don't.
But is Kamelah saying because of the responsibility of the man that they have?
You're right, because if it's a game like that, that means every card that we have to play is us struggling with our life.
Yeah, so let me tell you something. I used to tell my husband this because he used to say something like that in that metaphor. Yeah, that is true. You guys it is different for men.
Oh.
But in these days and time, I tell him, okay, well, if you feel like you can't fold or, reshuffle the deck, then guess what? Then you need to change who you're in that game with. My husband knew that at any time, guess what? If he needed to reshuffle the cards, if he needed to fold, then guess what? I'm right there to hold him up while he does that. You know what I mean? So guess what? Anytime you feel you can't do something, if you ain't got that partner or if you ain't got that support system to be like, okay, you know what? We're going to help you strategize to figure out a way or whatever, because everybody should be able to reshuffle what's in their hand. So if that happens to me and I can't do that, I'm changing the people I'm playing the game with. I'm changing my surroundings.
True, absolutely. But that's when it's a team game.
Yeah, I get you though. I get you when you're saying individually.
When it's not a team game, then what you do, see, because we got to play a team game and an individual game.
Why don't you just play multiple games at one time?
Right. That's what I was about to say.
Just multiple games.
Okay.
That's too much for my brain to be able to.
So in a team sport.
Wait. Just because I like to do stuff just like this.
What?
KT.
What's up?
They got to tune on over to Brother.
Okay, listen. I need you to announce whatever it is. I'm still on IG Live. I'm about to hop off. So announce where they need to go, because you already know I'll be learning too.
I know. All right, so y'all go to YouTube right now, whether you're YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter. Either one. We got you covered tonight. YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter.
YouTube, Twitch,
Type
Twitter.
in on YouTube, Kelly J TV.
Kelly J TV, YouTube.
Yeah. On Twitch, Kelly J TV, and on Twitter, The Kelly Circle.
Twitter, The Kelly Circle. Twitch, Kelly J TV.
Yes.
And what are we switching to? What's the crossover?
Oh, we about to dig all the way in this. And not only that, we about to talk about some single parent-ish.
Oh, we about to cut up. Yo, I don't even know if I'm ready. Yo, I'm ready. It's raw conversation.
You ready? You got to
You ready? All right. Here we are. Peace.
Peace.